It's no secret by now that all over the world, habitats have been altered and changed by our actions. Even though things have changed, there's things we can do to help improve this situation. One of those things is creating a water source in your own yard. Something like this small pond can actually be really essential for different organisms, especially insects, which attract the larger organisms like birds, and I even spotted a turkey right here in my very own backyard. You may think a large water source is needed to attract abundance of wildlife, but in fact that's not true. If you can just attract the small insects, you'll find birds and other animals will come to feed upon the insects as well as utilize this water source. I took a water trough that you would use in agriculture for cattle and created a little waterfall that goes right into the water trough. It then flows down a stream into a larger preformed pond. And while this didn't look like much at first, that larger preformed pond with the native plants and bulbs that I planted quickly grew in and filled in this whole ecosystem. And now I've seen so many different species right here in my very own yard. Every spring I see baby species being born. Like right here, you'll see an eastern lober grasshopper juvenile feasting right here on this amaryllis leaf. And that is a native species. While toxic if ate, still very important vital food source for many other organisms. Within the first week, you'll begin to see water skippers and other insects plant their eggs like dragonflies. You'd be surprised how quickly these insects colonize a newly built pond. While this pond's pretty small and probably only around 250 gallons, the sound of running water really attracts a lot of different animals to this area. I actually spotted several different species of amphibians. While I haven't seen salamanders or newts, I did see the southern toad, green tree frogs, and I don't know how it got here, but a bullfrog, 2 of them to be exact, which I found to be quite odd considering the closest body of water is over a mile or 2 away. Some of the plant species I included in my pond are these elephant ears, and around 7 different species of native grasses, as well as these beautiful irises, which are in full bloom and are starting to come out of bloom now. I can't wait to collect the seeds from this and transport them to my new larger pond. I also planted split-leaf philodendron and let some natives like that beautyberry and red maple tree grow here as well. The arrangement of different species helps attract a variety of different animals to my garden. I also don't mow or regularly maintain this area, which allows the weeds and wildflowers to actually come up and attract even more native species. Something like this dandelion flower actually can be a vital pollen source for different bee species. And along the rocks, I allowed ferns and these bromeliads to just take off. You can see all the native foliage that is actually growing here just by itself. There's palm trees growing over there and other Dieffenbachias and different broadleaf plants that I thought would do well here. I also planted a peach tree just behind, which I figure one day may actually fruit and attract even more wildlife to my pond. And I piled up rotten wood, or river wood and dead decaying wood to help create different niches and ecosystems that little insects can actually burrow down into, especially in the winter, to survive the cold times here in Florida. By creating such a diverse area, there's no end to the amount of species I've found here in my own very yard. So I encourage everyone to go out and just start a little pond. It doesn't have to be very large. It can be just an old bathtub or kitchen sink with a few plants around it. And circulating water isn't even necessary. If you put live vegetation in there, it actually will oxygenate the water and help sustain different small creatures like insects, and they can thrive in your yard too. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I'm Alex, the Florida Wildlife Guy, right here on the Great Outdoors channel. Peace.